So here we are again, some late evening experimentation with this Crosley BC-654 transmitter receiver power supply. This is a this thing is called a PE-104 alpha. So I've been fiddling around with this thing, and as you know from the last video, I replaced that bridge rectifier because the filaments weren't working. So somebody has a blog about this thing, a gentleman I think in Foreland. So I read his blog, which is really good. I guess he repairs these things professionally, and he said that this capacitor is 200, this 2000 microfarad capacitor for Charlie 2 goes bad a lot. So I'll replace that one with kind of a bush fix. And then I kept getting high voltage, 84 volts, going down to 60, 50, 40. And it turns out that this 4C1 here was a guilty party. So how did I figure that out? Well, I didn't do it smartly. So I ran this power supply for a while until the voltage went down, and then I simply disconnected it and I went feeling for things that were hot. So this is the 4 Charlie 1 capacitor across high voltage leads here, and this thing was indeed getting hot. So I thought, well, that's probably has leakage or something. So anyway, I didn't want to take it out. I found a capacitor, and this has about 125 volts across it here. So that's some major AC. So I had this capacitor, which is electrolytic, and it's a 4.7 microfarad at 250 volts. So I just put it across here, thinking that this thing's leaky, so it sort of works, but this will actually change characteristics. So I should probably simply bypass this capacitor entirely with this capacitor. Maybe I should do that, because this will, I don't know, heat up and change. But I left that there just to feel safe that they're both in series. And this, I had it running for a little while. It didn't explode or get hot, so I thought, well, that's a positive occurrence. So, okay, now we're on to the 2000 microfarad. So I put these in place of that 2000 microfarad capacitor. Here's the 2000 microfarad. I simply took this guy out and I put these in. I know this is not a great fix. If I end up replacing all these capacitors and tearing all this stuff out, I'll make this nice and neat, put in some terminal strips to make these proper. But right now it's a bush fix. So that's that. And I fired this thing up, and it seemed a lot more stable, so I'll show you that in a minute. So this capacitor here, I think it's a 4,000 microfarad. It looks kind of pukey. These I'm not sure about, but I don't know. I just wanted some stability. So they had this wire going down that capacitor. I just simply brought it up. So this is a bush fix, and let's see how this thing now operates. And I'm afraid now that I do have too much 1.4 volt filament is like 2.5, 2.6. I gotta probably put a drop-in diode back in this thing again because it's working too efficiently now. But let's take a look. So there's the radio. And I'm too lazy to move this power supply around, so I'll just leave it right there and we'll connect this thing up. So yellow wire is our ground. In this case, it's positive ground, so the yellow wire is positive. It goes to the ground. Well, this thing's floating actually, but we'll get the polarity right. And this is my minus wire. It goes into 12 volts. Minus 12 volts right there, and we turn the switch on. And is it quieter? I don't know, maybe a little bit. Anyway, it's vibrating away there. So here's the voltmeter here. And we'll do some measurements on. So this is radio common, so you don't want to use the case. You use this pin for radio voltage common. And here's the 1.4. So that's a little nerve-wracking. I'm a little hesitant to just shove this power pack back in the radio and turn it on and have the filaments cook. So they're saying this has to be like really down around 1.5 or below. Okay, here's the B plus that's always been going down. So this B plus now is a healthy 114 volts. It's supposed to be 85 volts, so it seems like it's way too high now. And it seems pretty steady, so I'm thinking the radio will drag this B plus down to 85, I hope. As it drags it down, when it was 90, it dragged it down about 30 volts, so. But it's steady now. It doesn't seem to be cascading down like it was. So that cap must have been leaky or shorting. And it was consuming the watts that would have been needed to run the radio. So just kind of watching it carefully. It would nudge down pretty rapidly, but the cap I could feel was hot. So I think this fixed it. I think now I got to put a dropping diode in for the 1.4 volt bridge rectifier. I got to put a dropping diode, maybe two of them, to drop that voltage down to 1.4. So I don't want to burn the sucker up. And see what happens. It's a pain, but better doing painful work than burning up your radio. So there's the minus 2.6 filament. Under load, I guess I could put like a 5 ohm resistor in there and see what it does. That might be a reasonable test. See if it drags it down. Maybe I'll do that. I'll put it. Do I have a 5 ohm resistor? I think I do. Could put a resistor in there and see what happens to it. That's an idea, isn't it? Alright, well, thanks for watching. That's my progress so far on the vibrator power supply. It seems like it's running pretty steady here. Of course, I could put in a solid-state vibrator. I read and find if I could find one. They're hard to find. The guys, people sell them, but they're arcane. Okay, so that is holding well for filament voltage, and that's holding. So this thing is not fading anymore, which is really good. And what about this voltage for the transmitter? Is that right? No. How about this one? One of these is a minus voltage somewhere. Let's see, where is it? No. I forget what that minus voltage is now. There's like a minus bias voltage in this thing somewhere. There it is. Minus 51 is right here. And we got minus 70, so it's kind of running a little hot. Running kind of hot here. Alright, I'm not too worried about that B plus voltage. It should be 85, but I'm going to spark it, like they say in the movie. Spark it. Let's see how it goes. So I'm just kind of probing these points here to see what I get. Alright, well, that's about it. B plus voltage, 113. Filaments are coming in at 2.7. I'm going to put maybe a 5 ohm resistor on these filaments and see if that will bring the voltage down to 1.6, okay? Well, or 1.4. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Again, that's my experiment with a little hummer here. It's humming away. The capacitor was there. You can see I ripped it out, and there's just a piece of wire there now. And the modern capacitors are all on the back side here, just laying around. So the rebuilding has begun. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.